Check Out. It's the book by David Quang Pham, composer Eric Grunin, lyricist Valerie Work, music direction and piano by Himko Espag, direction by Valerie Work as well, and then performances by Jacqueline Keeley, Sydney Howard, David Michael Kirby, Anthony Castanalo, and Eric Carter.
Grunin, book by David Quang Pham, lyrics by Valerie Work. Cast: Des, middle-aged, Arbiter Library's passionate librarian. Dewey, 20, Arbiter Library's new intern. Tony Sexton, 30s, a well-known tech industry titan. S-volume, the S-volume of an Arbiter Library encyclopedia set. Sci-fi paperback, well-worn and much loved. Arbiter Library, it is the near-distant future, yet things are backwards in the small town of Arbiter in the nation's heartland. As daylight touches the shelf, the sci-fi paperback falls off.
So, S-volume? S-volume? Are you gonna check up on me?
Check on you? No one even wants to check a thing or two with you.
But we're under attack!
This dream got you falling off shelves. It must be good. Science fiction. Tell me your dream.
Well, we were here on our shelf, going on about the library's funding problem.
As always.
When we heard a loud explosion. And guess what showed up?
Stalactite?
No, a great green alien Viking!
Of course.
He blasted our shelf with a ray gun. Then Des came in with a giant sword and...
Des enters.
Des!
Hey, you all. Just checking in. Smell that dusted print ink. Breathe in that catalog stink. Thrilled to another library day.
Thrilled to another library day.
So what if the floors creak? So what if the walls leak? We're here for our patrons who come anyway. Huh, the new intern is late. Huh, yes, they are our only applicant this year, these past few years. We just have to make the best of what we have, right? I mean, isn't that why you are all still here on this shelf? I check into work here and smile to my pals near. Let's all check in for a library day. A library day. A library day. A library day.
Dewey enters.
May I check in?
Check out the newcomer.
Who's talking?
Oh, it's the books. It's always the books.
The books.
I mean, who else gives off words besides our own mouths? You act as though you've never seen a book in your whole life.
20 years ain't that long.
You're kidding.
No, I'm Dewey.
Oh, Dewey. I am Des, head librarian. The first thing I ask you to do is to just hold this book.
I don't know how it feels
To have responsibilities.
to hold a book.
Well, that's what this internship is for. We put a book on hold here the old-fashioned way.
No, not that hold. Your hold.
Wait, you've never touched a book before?
Well, I've always wanted to.
Okay. 451 area code?
Oh, it's actually 415. San Francisco.
Oh, do they not have paper books where you come from?
Everything is automated now.
You should have applied elsewhere. You'd automatically fit in.
Your library is non-competitive. I put it as my safety choice because at least my grandmama lives here. I do wish that Arbiter were by the harbor. This town is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, well, that's the heartland for you.
I wish I could have been with my college friends interning in New York City or Seattle. They speak to me more than these piles of dust.
Who you calling a
Piles of dust.
Okay, if you don't want to become a librarian, what do you want to do after college?
Middle management.
Seriously?
Oh, but not upper middle management and not lower middle management. Middle management.
But why?
At my college, I was told a job can be hard to hold. The chance of a C-suite chair is pretty thin. And curing cancer, don't even begin. But there's one role I know I can win. And now, new friend, I'm thrilled to clue you in. I will supervise 3 people, or maybe 4 or 5. I'll give out praise like stickers to help them all to thrive. I'll comment on a flow chart, then lay out who does what part. Oh, everyone will love our little hive. I will be middle management with middle management flair. And as a middle manager, I'll wear a watchful stare. And I'll get middle management updates with a middle management tag. I'll go to middle management conferences, get middle management swag. I will call each of my teammates each hour on the dot to find out if their projects have progressed or not. I'll update all their spreadsheets and schedule daily pod meets. I'll be the greatest boss they ever got. I will rule middle management with a middle management smile. And as a middle manager, I'll offload every file. I'll go to middle management offsites and build middle management tools. I'll soak in middle management hot tubs next to middle management pools. And if dark days arrive and I wonder, what is my life for? Should I have spent it building telescopes? Should I have joined the Peace Corps?
Don't do it.
I'll take a yoga class. Those bad thoughts will pass. I'll return to where I know that I belong. Right back in a middle management with middle management style. I'll be a middle manager. I'll go the extra mile with ROI. I'll circle back, put a pin in it, and you'll see. I'll be the very most middle manager, the world's most middle manager, a middle manager. That's me.
Well, take a chance on us and meet us in the middle. Check out a book just this once. Take your pick.
Pick me, pick me, pick me. I'm a sprightly, stunning volume to swiftly start. Reading me will make you a lot more smart. You'll search for saltines, you'll end up at sardines. What you'll have to check out to begin. So if you want to read about salad and then salamander, check me out and give me a spin.
Pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. I'm a science fiction novel with attitude. My story's fast moving and will leave you glued. You'll fly into space on a starship race, but you'll have to read me now to win. And if you want an evil robot with your alien, check me out and let me in. Pick me, pick me, pick me.
Pick me. I'm a longtime cataloger who stacks with ease. I'll find any map or magazine you please. I'll teach you to file, how to own every aisle, but you'll have to decide to check on in. So if you want to fall for these books and your internship, check us out and give us a spin. Check us out and let us in.
Dewey points at none of the books. Instead, their finger lands on Tony Sexton, who barges in self-importantly.
Thank you for picking me.
And who are you?
Tony Sexton.
Tony Sexton! Shouldn't you be running your tech empire? What are you doing in Arbiter?
Arbiter Township Library's newest board member. Just bought my seat today. Now that there's finally a new intern at my hometown library, I can fulfill my childhood dream. I love to visit this library as a child with a backpack and my card and a new Sharpie. I'd write my name in marker pen, spaghetti sauce. Return a book without my name would be a tragic loss. But that intern tore my card up and suspended me. That day I swore I'd find a way that I would be free to write my name on everything. No, I won't stop till it's on top of every park bench and swing. I'll write my name all over every day, and no one will get in my way. So I grew up to found a tech enterprise, and I named it Tony Sexton Industries. My name in 10-foot letters above our office door. It's even on the tiles on the bathroom floor. We've got Tony Sexton phone, a Tony Sexton PC, and all because this library inspired me to write my name on everything. No, I won't stop till it's on top of every park bench and swing. I'll write my name all over every day, and no one will get in my way. Now I'm back to write my name where it all began, to fulfill my childhood dream with a grown-up plan. In the Tony Sexton Library I will smile to see my name in every book and over every wall. I'll save this institution with my money and my fame, and in return I can finally give it my name. 'Cause I can write my name on everything. No, I won't stop till it's on top of every park bench and swing. I'll write my name all over every day, and no one will get in my way. I'll write my name. And then I'll fire the dastardly intern who stole my library card.
You can't mean Des.
And what's this shrimp's name?
Dewey, this year's intern.
Tony pulls out their phone and types Dewey. A section of the library gets renamed Dewey.
Dewey in a library. Seems appropriate.
This is not the library I grew up in.
This is the library society needs to grow in.
Oh, you'll never grow up.
Dewey, Growing up may be a science, but growing up perfectly is fiction.
What do you know about me, you weird children's book?
Well, not you, your grandmama.
Dewey opens the book.
Grandmama's name is right here.
If grandmama grew out of that childhood spirit, you don't know who you'd be.
If you had let me be a kid, I would have grown up.
You were no kid. You've always been a monster. Writing your name on everything was the worst experience I've had here.
Boo-hoo! You had to do such menial tasks when you were an intern.
Cleaning permanent markers ink was not my profession.
It was unprofessional of you to suspend my library card.
It's been a few decades. Move on.
Oh, I'm moving on into the future with ease.
Tony pushes a button. Everything is renamed Sexton.
E is for everything and everything's mine. My electronic books will have a giant custom sign.
T is for everything we have that's working fine. Our printed lovely books are what makes this haven shine.
So, E might be for everything. Why should I even care? I've never read print books before. I should walk right on out that door, return to screens and their blue glare. So E might be for everything. Why do I find I care? The fumes of ink and dust have lit a spark in me that burns to split my old life plan from this new air. These shelves seem so familiar. Did Gran bring me as a child? Read me books about white wizards, absent heroes, talking clouds. Did we sit on that worn story rug, end our tales with a laugh and a hug? And could I get that back? Yes, could I get that back? And do Grandma and her friends all know Tony Sexton wants their books to go? So E is for everything. Yes, I find I care. So Tony thinks he's super fine. I'll put his selfish views online for all the world to judge and share, to judge and share.
Tony whips out a giant Sharpie and nabs the nearest book.
That's a Shakespeare First Folio Edition, 1589. Is this the hill you want to die on?
Every hill in this land will have my name written too.
Tony and Des get in a tussle. It ends with Tony triumphing but getting a paper cut.
Ow, paper cut. It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood.
Tony writes their name in blood. Dewey takes a photo of this insanity and sends it out. Tony's phone rings. Ring, you've got blood.
Oh, the board. They're going to put their foot down on your termination, Dewey does.
Blood on your hands.
Hands? Your Majesty Board President, you got the intern's email? What? You're rejecting my donation. Health code violation. It's Shakespeare. No one knows who he is without my name in blood. It's priceless.
Dewey films this interaction and uploads this to the Arbiter community listserv. Des looks at Dewey's phone.
Oh, no. This is priceless.
What?
The comments.
Don't you dare touch my shaky. To be or not to be, no one wants to be Tony Sexton today. Sexton thinks this is a Shakespearean comedy. This is a tragedy.
The tragedy here is this whole town. It's the middle of the 21st century, and Arbiter is still so backwards.
Look, even backwards towns have listservs, and Arbiter is no different.
Arbiter Library gets a sudden makeover by coders around the nation.
Don't unsexton the world!
Many of the updated electronics in Arbiter Library fail and combust.
Wow, what possessed you?
Des reads from the sci-fi paperback.
Ah, the third act of Humans, beating the egotistical wealthy billionaire who hires 20-something-year-olds to pillage Social Security. Absurd! But it works out.
No one wants to check with me, huh?
Gotta hand it to you, Sci-Fi. You got Arbiter Library out of decades-long bind.
Science makes things work out, Miss Volume. Now, let's spiral bind this dead beast!
S-Volume and sci-fi paperback chase Tony out of the library.
It is priceless. Priceless.
Donations are streaming into the library's account. $2, $42, $451.
Yes!
All from the community.
Des dusts off a badge printer.
We can afford to use the badge printer again! Oh, it may be against the core principle to label the library's content, but we must put a name to the lovely people who make Arbiter Library and every library in the world come to life. You'll manage being in the middle of it all!
Des pins a badge to Dewey that reads, Dewey, Arbiter Intern.
So, Dewey, are you ready to check into your internship and check out your first book?
Oh, pick me!
Well,
Smell the dust and print ink. Smell it. Breathe in that catalog stink. Thrill to another library day.
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 All right, it's time. Science fiction paperback, I choose you! Yeah! Here we go.
Des checks out science fiction paperback and hands it back to Dewey.
Let's all check in.
It's a library day, a library day, a library day, a library day.
Thank you. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
I'm David Quang Pham. I'm the book writer.
I'm Valerie Work. I was the lyricist.
I did the music.
Yay! Congratulations. It was such an appropriate, I feel like that was such a good final way to wrap up the day. I have a hunch about where you got your inspiration from, but can you talk about it a little bit?
Well, we started this back in June, and we were thinking about the library's ebook collection as our point of inspiration. But we've been revising it this whole time, and it seems to be getting more and more topical with every passing week.
And one thing that came up was a friend of mine once referred to the names on all of the big buildings in Lincoln Center as rich person's graffiti.
Okay, I actually, I had a follow-up question about when that like wealthy character came into the storytelling. I'm just
Last
curious,
summer.
were they there from the outset, or is that something?
Yeah,
that,
from the very beginning, yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah, that is really fascinating that it does seem to have gotten very topical.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, and trying to figure out like which tech billionaire was, he's supposed to represent. Yeah, funny. I have to say, there's a lot to love about this piece. It's very funny. The humor in it is tight. I think, it's funny because my day job, well, not my day job, my exclusive job is in licensing, in publishing and licensing theater, and that middle management song this is very crass to talk about, but it's like a moneymaker. It's like a song that I just listening to it, you're like, man, like every actor at auditions, like every performer, like there's just so much heart and humor in it, and like, even in her reading, it just glimmered. That song is really smart. So thanks. Not to like, the whole piece is great, but I think that song, it was just like, oh yeah,
That's
like
the
that's
single.
my brain.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just some places to take it if you were going to go. And I don't know if you want to expand it or if you've thought about that. I think I had, this is such a nerd question, so forgive me. But I was like, sci-fi in the S volume, why aren't romance novels represented? Why aren't, So I do think it's a really fun, the fact that you have these two characters that are the books, but there is maybe more of an opportunity to build that out and have almost like a functional chorus of books and how they like take on problems and like, but it's also just like such juicy roles for actors too, to play contemporary women. And you could get really esoteric and kind of nerdy with it, I'm sure. I don't know why I went to romance novels, but the other thing too, I think so it feels like the first half of the story is about the intern coming into the library, and then once, is it Tony, the billionaire? Yeah. Once he comes in, the kind of conflict shifts, and it's like this digital versus analog, and kind of the focus has changed to him versus the library. I wondered if there was a way to kind of introduce him earlier, maybe not in terms of physical body in the space, but be like, he is a looming presence, and there's a bit of a foreshadow. So when he comes in as an audience member, I immediately understand the stakes, and I'm like, wait, that's the guy I'm supposed to hate. I don't like him. And there isn't that like 5 seconds of like, who's this dude? And like, why does he like Sharpies so much? That Sharpie song is also really funny too, where he's like, I want to write my name and everything. But it gets funnier when you start hating him. I will say that, like once you hate him, you're like, and that Sharpie comes out, and you're like, oh, this asshole, get him off the stage. Yeah. Okay, I'll pass the mic.
I also, kudos for the beautiful marriage of lyrics and music on the character songs. I mean, it really just so humanized all of the inanimate objects of the library. I mean, who isn't in this universe that has a whole rhapsodic thing about the smell of the library and what the library does to them and what the feel of the books are and everything. And actually bringing it to life the way you did was really magic. So everything she said and that. Thanks.
Yeah, first I'll just quickly say that I agree. The middle management song will be sung in every cabaret ever if you want it to, because it's one of those songs that can get pulled out of its original context and still hold its own. So that's just a sidebar that I'm starting with for unknown reasons. Okay, all right. The whole thing is extremely charming and extremely timely. So and the introduction of the characters. First, you gave me anthropomorphized books, and I want more. To echo what you're saying, like you can't anthropomorphize 2 books and not expect me to be like, I want 7. And I think it's that, because I think like each one will have a distinct personality based on there's so much room to expand on that. Please, please, please. Because also when we get to the pick me, I didn't want to hear from our librarian. I wanted more books involved in it. It's just so rich with possibilities. Okay, the piece. The piece is targeting 2 different audiences, and that's not a flaw. That is a really, really big asset. There are not a lot of musicals that are truly for families, where kids will go and see this and be like, this is great, I love this, I'm entertained, and the adults are really, and I am also amused. Usually one of those parties is suffering through it. I'm not wrong. But this actually is legitimately appealing to adults. You've got a whole stream of humor and references and context for adults. But there's a movement on social media right now, largely led by Michael. I wish I could think of Michael's last name right now, the very famous librarian, where he's talking about, right, Michael Three? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And it's the idea of the library kid. The library kid is someone who doesn't have somewhere else to go where they really fit, but they can go to the library and they'll fit there. I can imagine a piece like this expanded to like a nice, clean 55 to 60 minutes and being run in libraries all over for library kids and their families. And I say this because I think sometimes when we're writing musicals, well, not we, I don't write musicals, when you're writing musicals, we shy away from the idea of writing for families or kids because that seemed to be not as artistically important. I really disagree with that. And I think there need to be more shows like this, and this one seems to already want to be this, so I encourage you to consider it.
Thank you. Time to check out.